Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Deloitte Women's Premier League magazine show. We are on to episode 7 now and it's been a really intense couple of weeks in the league. Loads of ups and downs and excitement, and today we are joined by two more guests. We have Nur Shaahidah from Albirex Niigata Singapore, and joining her is another Hougang United player, Chin Yi, who's in the house again. Last week we also had a teammate of yours with us, so we're really excited to welcome you back once again. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining me on this wonderful morning. I just want to remind you guys that of course you can catch all the highlights of the Women's Premier League right here on this Facebook page. We've got all the photos, all the highlights, and definitely stay tuned because it's going to be a very exciting couple of weeks ahead. And of course you can also catch all the other news and write-ups on SG Women's Football website. And let's get down proper to today's show. Once again, thank you so much, girls, for joining me. Chin Yi, just start with you first. It hasn't been the easiest of seasons for Hougang. It's the first season for you guys, right?
Yeah, that's right.
In the league. So personally for you, how are you, enjoying or experiencing the Women's Premier League?
I think I've played in previous seasons also, but then this time out with a new team, I'm looking forward definitely. And even after every matches, we still have like debrief and all. I still looking forward and enjoying myself.
Yeah, it's nice to know. I think it's very important, right, to keep that positivity going. It's not easy as well for the first to be, in the league for the, with a new team as well. So I hope that, you guys can continue to climb mountains. Okay, now let's go to Shaahidah. Welcome to the show. All smiles. It's been a while since we had an Albirex player here. So I just wanted to ask you, like, are you enjoying your season, with the Swans?
Yes, definitely. Like I haven't been playing for 3 years to 4 years. So this is like my first after so long. So I'm really excited and giving my best for all matches.
Yeah, and we had, like I said, a couple of your guests from your teammates earlier on the show, and they always talk about Albirex and the club itself. But what do you enjoy about, being part of this family, this Albirex family?
I feel like this is the first time I joined a team which is like affiliated to the men's team, right? So I feel like the management wise is really good in terms of the trainings, the coaching styles, the gym trainings and everything. It's like very
organized.
Organized. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure that you will definitely enjoy the rest of the season. It's not like I told Chin Yi as well. It's a new thing for many of us in the local women's football scene because we're seeing a lot of changes. For example, like some clubs like Tampines Rovers have just announced that they're going to set up their own new women's team. So it's always good to see some of these, I would say, progression in women's football. But back to you, Chin Yi. I understand you're working at the moment as well.
Yeah.
So how do you juggle your work and football? Because you have games on the weekends, right?
Yes.
And then you have work for the rest. So it's a full week for you, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think it's really just like managing your time. Try to set off a little time off and work on time to go for trainings. And then the weekends is really just get as much rest as I can. After that, then just go for game. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that brings me to my next question about the training schedules. How is the training schedule like at Hougang, and how do you cope, and juggle all of that?
For us is that we train about 2 to 3 times a week, depending if there's game. If there's not, then we will get a time off. But it's really just getting less rest, of course, but I think it's really being with a team is definitely helps a lot. Like my teammate makes me feel that I want to go for training.
Wow. Yeah, it's so important, right? The camaraderie.
Yeah.
And Shaahidah, you're a teacher as well, and we had a couple of teachers on the show, and I really love doing this show because we always have a lot of different occupations. We had a dentistry student last week. We have you, a teacher. So how do you actually juggle? Because I know teaching is not an easy occupation at all with your students and all the workloads, right?
Same as her. Of course, I set my time for work and then for football. So because it's been so long, I played, so I really want to play, right? So I really need to be disciplined and, of course, still be responsible for my career.
So, Albirex trains as well. So, having trained with your teammates, are there any key takeaways, that you've learned just from these couple of weeks that you've spent with them, in training and also during games?
Definitely, the communication-wise and having chemistry in the team because it's a new team. So I feel like we still have a lot more to improve on. Yeah.
Nice, it's still a work in progress, I think, for everybody. Yeah. So, okay, so Chin Yi, back to you now. She was talking also about the communication and everything. What about you and your teammates like?
I think for me that my teammate within us, because we train like 2 to 3 times a week, we know each other's styles and the communication is there. We are working on it, how we can further improve it. And also at the same time, I think we know each other well, like we hang out together so we know how each other works in a way. Then I think this will actually bring it back to the field.
Hopefully, guys. And I wanted to ask you as well a little bit about how you personally, Chin-Yi, started in football. What got you into the beautiful game?
Okay, for me, I'm quite lucky because in my secondary school, we actually have women's team. So my brother, like, he was just like, do you want to go and try play football? I'm just like, okay, sure. So I just went, and then I love the sport. I think it's amazing, and I think it's very different from like what everybody sees, right? Yeah.
And I have to, add to that as well. It's always the brothers, always the dads, or the neighbors who are so important, because we asked so many questions as well on the show, and most of them would say their dads or their brothers, and I think that's so important, right? For you, how did you get started in football, Shaahidah?
So I love sports, so I tried out like different sports in primary school, and then I was from Yangzheng Primary, so we had football. So I tried out in my primary 5, primary 6. Yeah. Initially, I actually joined my friends to just play for fun, and then like during recess, we play in the field. And then street soccer. So from then on, I really wanted to continue that, and then continue during like secondary school onwards. Yeah.
Wow. So here you are playing in the WPL. So are you. So it is something. It's quite an achievement as well. Because a professional sport in Singapore is not easy, and for women's as well, right? You have to balance work as well as sport. And let me just go to you a little bit again, Shaahidah, because you guys have a new team at Albirex coming soon, and she, I believe, is a Japan women's national player, right?
Yes,
Kitahara. So how are you feeling about Kitahara joining you guys?
I'm really excited because like it's the first time I'm playing with her. Like her standard is like really up
next
there.
level.
Yeah, it's really next level. So like it's an honor to be training with her.
Yeah.
And then like really hope to be able to get good scores.
Yeah, I mean, because she's really upping the game,
Yes,
women's football, and I'm looking forward to also, because she's going to be doing some workshops with some of the kids at Albirex and training them. So if you guys are interested, definitely check out Albirex Niigata Singapore. I believe Facebook, Instagram page. They will be advertising a bit more when Kitahara's in town about how you can get involved and meet her perhaps. Okay, Chin-Yi, who are some of the players who have impressed you so far in the league, who you've played against? You can mention someone at Albirex maybe.
I think for me it's actually my teammates, because some of them, they have no background in soccer, and then they started off, and then the improvement you see in just a few months, I think they are like kind of my biggest people that I think I'm impressed with, because starting from like basic to like till what they have now. Yeah.
And speaking of that for yourself, speaking of improvements, what do you do outside the training, to improve? Like, do you go to the gym, or do you watch your diet? Because I've always been interested in that,
Diet wise, I think no. But then like I think workout all this, I do go work out with my friends, and then like on and off. Yeah, that's how I actually improve the fitness a little, I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so working out is important, right? It's all smiles from you. So you love the workout, I believe.
But I love to eat too.
Yeah.
I work out to eat.
Do you eat to live, or you live to eat?
I live to eat.
Yeah, so do all of us, right? I mean, but speaking of I was asking her as well about the players that have impressed you. Which players have impressed you so far? Who you've played against?
I love seeing this player from Tiong Bahru. Her name is Angeline Pang. She plays centre back.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like really very composed and calm when she gets the ball. So I really love like seeing how she plays.
I agree.
You agree? Okay, so shout out to Angeline Pang. We hope to get you on the show soon. But I know it's always nice to see women supporting women, and I'm definitely going to be checking, more of how she performs, because the centre back role is such an important role in every club, to make sure that we don't concede so many goals. And okay, maybe for you, I want to ask you, how many WPLs have you played in previously?
WPL, this is my first actually, because last time we have like 2 different leagues, right? Used to be from National League, so probably 3, 4, around there.
So have you seen like a progression, through the years for yourself in the league?
I think yes, slowly. Yeah, I do see some improvement, like with my coaches and everyone helping, a little, like in terms of like techniques wise, Okay,
so are you hoping for more support, perhaps, from your coaches, or from the club itself, in the time to come, because like I said, Hougang is new, so moving.
Definitely. I think our club has been very supportive for us, and then like with all our coaches there, definitely there will be improvement, and I still feel that like, improvements is a must regardless like which stage are you at. Yeah.
Speaking of improvement, guys, we have every week some highlights from the previous, match days, so let's have a look at the recap. a look at the results from last weekend's games. Here are the updated standings from the weekend. And of course, here are the upcoming games for match week 7. So Shaahidah, how many WPLs have you played in previously, and what has been the key difference for you then and now?
I think about 4 to 5 with different clubs, and then the difference is of course just now what I mentioned, the affiliated to men's team.
Yes.
I think it's a really good opportunity for us because like the like sponsors management wise is really different from what I experienced previously. Yeah. And
personally for you, your role in the team, your position, how do you get started to play in that position that you are at right now? And do you remember when you started, were you like, some players were started as a striker, and then they went on to become, I don't know, they played a little bit deeper, of course not a goalkeeper, but we see a lot of changes, So for yourself, how did it pan out for you?
Well, okay, I started off from right wing, left wing, and then after that, in under 19, I played striker, and then changed to centre midfield.
Wow.
And then, and then after that, in the National A, I played right or left back.
Yeah.
And then now I am back to my centre midfield. Yeah.
So so you're very versatile. If the national team ever calls you can probably fill in a lot of roles. No, but which do you have a favorite, preferred position?
No favorite, but I think different roles have different responsibilities.
Yes.
So I think my current position now really needs a lot of confidence and experience. Yeah.
Okay. No, we will definitely be looking forward to seeing you move around or not lah. It really depends, right? Okay, Chini, I want to ask you, growing up, did you have like a favorite player that you looked up to, whose highlights that you watch, to maybe improve your game?
Yes, have Steven Gerrard.
Wow.
I like him, and that's why my jersey number is also him, hopefully.
So are you a Liverpool fan by any chance?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I want to ask more about that, but Steven Gerrard himself is quite an iconic character, a role model, right? So would you say as well, like, role model wise, you look up to him,
I think in terms of skills, I think there are a lot of players that is on par or even slightly better. But I think what I like about him is like his attitude on the field. So he's the captain of the team, but yet he's very humble and all. Yeah, so I think that's something very impressive.
Yeah, well said, Chin Yi. And what about yourself, Shaahidah? Any players you watched growing up?
For the women's team is Mana Iwabuchi.
Wow.
Yeah, she's from Japan, but then she played for Aston Villa and Arsenal currently.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just like how she is small, but she can like really make space, run into space. Like her positioning is always like there. Yeah. And
that's a good thing about Japan, right? They did win the Women's World Cup before, and they are definitely a force for many of us to look at as Asians, as something that we can all, I would say, emulate in future. And you are playing for Albirex, so you have a perfect opportunity to learn from them, right? Okay guys, I just want to, before we wrap up the show proper, I just want to ask whether you guys could have a message to the fans while watching WPL. Maybe we'll start with you first, Chin Yi.
Yeah. So I think thank you for supporting us, women's football. I think it's very important to have all this support. So do come for games and support us on and off, regardless of which team. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. And what about yourself, Shaahidah?
Continue watching and continue supporting us. We are slowly improving, hopefully, and you can watch us through the live YouTube and also our live game.
Yay! Definitely go down and catch some of the games as well, guys. If you're all around the area, because I'm sure that they will love to have your support. And with that said, I just want to say thank you so much, Chin Yi and Shaahidah. All the best for with your clubs and the season ahead. We hope to see you netting in some goals. Okay, I hope to see that. And of course, I'm Asha from Futbolita, and don't forget to, of course, follow us for more WPL magazine show as well as the highlights right here on the page. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you.